As I promised, the next video will be for men. Today we'll talk about how to find your queen. It's clear that each of us has our own type programmed into our subconscious from birth, and even if we choose according to that type, there is still a risk of making a mistake. Not every candy that looks beautiful tastes good. Even if you are destined to have a partner with certain type, character, and behavior, we can still influence the events in our lives and make our own choices. After all, sometimes it's better to dedicate your life to yourself than to waste your life energy on relationships that destroy you emotionally and sometimes even physically. So, in a woman's birth chart, we first pay attention to Venus and the Moon, their positions in a particular zodiac sign and field, and the aspects they form. The position in a certain sign will show what she is like as a girlfriend through Venus and what she will be like as a wife through the Moon. The position in the field shows where she will express these qualities. The zodiac sign always answers the question, what kind? And the field placement answers the question, where? The next, we evaluate the sign and position of Mars in her horoscope, and only after that, the Sun. Now, let's go step by step, starting with the planet Venus. In both male and female horoscopes, the strength or weakness of Venus tells us how much a person values and respects themselves enough to choose one partner for life. In other words, whether they are likely to be faithful. Venus in fall, that is in a weak position, tends to have numerous different connections and relationships. A strong Venus, on the other hand, usually chooses one partner, the one she considers worthy. A strong Venus gives anyone the ability to appreciate themselves, to respect themselves and their choices. That's why a weak Venus often seeks many partners to prove she's wanted by someone, while a strong Venus may sometimes cheat just to show that she's the best. Yes, you heard me right. If Venus in the horoscope is in exaltation, meaning in a very strong position, her qualities can become distorted. She might go too far or exaggerate. Such a Venus can simply enjoy having many partners. It gives her pleasure, and she truly gets a thrill from it. Each planet has two strong positions, domicile and exaltation. Domicile is a strong position, while exaltation, although also considered strong by points, shows a planet behaving too extravagantly, too demonstratively, especially when we're talking about Venus. In exaltation, Venus tends to exaggerate and draw attention to herself through her excessive or overemphasized qualities. This is how a person with a planet in exaltation usually behaves. That's why you should pay special attention if you notice in your chosen partner's horoscope that Venus is in Taurus, Libra, or Pisces. These are the signs of her domicile and exaltation. Or if Venus is in a weak position, Virgo, Aries, or Scorpio. It's important to understand which path such a Venus has chosen. To value herself or to waste her energy on trivial things. The ideal placement for Venus is in neutral signs, Gemini, Capricorn, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius, or Cancer. You can learn more about how Venus behaves in each sign in my previous videos. And when it comes to Venus, it doesn't matter whether we're talking about men or women. This applies to everyone. If you see Venus in a weak position or in exaltation, that is, an overly strong position, it's worth paying special attention to it. The prefix you can apply to the actions of people with weak Venus is under, or not enough. For example, underloved meaning they weren't loved enough, and that's why they act this way. For a strong Venus, the appropriate prefix is over, as in overloved. This happens when someone was loved too much, received too much attention, and now wants to live life entirely on their own terms. And usually what she wants is plenty of intimacy and plenty of money. After all, the strength of a planet, in this case, Venus, gives a person the potential to have all of that if they make the effort. Another important point, if Venus forms squares and oppositions, meaning negative aspects, this indicates improper interaction with other people, including partners. A person whose Venus is negatively aspected in the horoscope doesn't know what healthy relationships or proper social interactions look like. Such a person often acts aggressively or vulgarly, creating conflicts and chaos in the group or in relationships. They simply don't know or understand what normal, harmonious relationships between people should be like. That's why this behavioral pattern is understandable, and it means that everyone with such aspects needs to work on themselves, improving and refining their way of relating to others. The sign of Venus shows how a person behaves in relationships and what they love. Will she be home oriented, or will she prefer to shine like a star, constantly surrounded by people? If you decided to get married, you should pay attention to her moon in the horoscope. This is because it indicates what kind of wife she will be and what behaviors are natural for her. It shows how she will behave in daily life, what habits she will have, how she likes to relax, and what her mental and emotional state will be. This is the behavioral model of her as a wife and as a mother of your children. A strong and positively aspected moon represents a mentally healthy and resilient woman. A weak or negatively aspected moon indicates a vulnerable psyche, prone to inappropriate or aggressive behavior. Frequent nervous outbursts depend on which planet is negatively aspecting her moon. For detailed information about the behavior of people with the moon in different zodiac signs, see my previous videos. There are two, the first and second, with detailed explanations, so I won't repeat it all here. A moon in a negative aspect, square or opposition to Mars, aggressiveness and conflict proneness, to Saturn depression, to Neptune, escapism, sometimes inappropriate behavior, to Pluto, the worst aspect, tendency to psychological breakdowns. The same applies to aspects to Uranus, which can lead to deep psychological transformations with unforeseen consequences. You already know Pluto's strength, and its influence on a person's subtle emotional organization should not be underestimated. Unfortunately, it's impossible to predict exactly what will happen in the future. Here, serious self-control of the woman's emotional state is required. With a strong Mars, it is possible to manage it even if a moon in such a position. So, we've smoothly transitioned to the topic of willpower and character. Mars governs activity and decisiveness. A woman with a strong Mars will have a character typically associated with men. I believe she will listen to you, but the decisions will be made by herself. Here, it's important to find the right approach so that in her presence, you don't feel like you've turned into a weakling. And not because you are weak, but because you cannot keep up with her drive, courage, decisiveness, and character qualities typically associated with men. A strong Mars is in Scorpio or Aries. A weak Mars, which indicates a lack of willpower and a weaker character, is found in Cancer, Taurus, or Libra. The influence of a man on a woman and vice versa is remarkable. People are capable of transforming into completely different versions of themselves. We change under the influence of circumstances and the people around us, especially under the influence of those we live with. If you have a weak Mars and meet a woman with strong Mars, that's not necessarily a bad thing. She will naturally take the lead and make decisions, and it's possible that she can make you stronger if you are willing, or she might break you if you cannot accept her masculine behavior. The strongest relationships are built where there is no competition or struggle, but where there is a true partnership and collaboration at the level of equals. It's no secret that friendship between a man and a woman is the foundation of long lasting relationships. If you want to understand whether she has a conflict prone personality, analyze the aspects or Mars in her natal chart. People tend to be conflict prone if Mars forms negative aspects, include conjunctions, squares, or oppositions. This applies to everyone, regardless of gender. Another planet worth discussing is the Sun, its sign, position, and aspects. Today we analyze all gender related planets: Mars, Venus, the Sun, and the Moon. Mercury does not play a significant role here. It describes communication style and manner, but does not influence the duration of relationships. The Sun represents ego, self esteem, and self sufficiency. A strong Sun is in Leo or Aries. A weak Sun is in Libra or Aquarius. Ideally, all your gender related planets should form positive aspects with each other. This guarantees mutual understanding without words and interaction between two people without conflicts. This is true, but it's rare for people to find a perfect partner, someone who matches us 100%. It's uncommon, but it does exist. I have analyzed such compatibility charts. So here's what I want to say to summarize. 70% of my clients are men, and 65% of my channel's audience is male. So gender doesn't really matter. We are all humans and have the right to study information that helps us understand the secrets of proper interaction with our loved ones, family, friends, close surroundings, and children. Astropsychology helps us dive deeper and study in detail what makes up our psyche, emotional organization, and inner world. Psychology helps us understand others and ourselves. Astrology guides us on when and how to act, so we don't miss the opportunities life gives us, sometimes only once. Together, these two sciences are powerful. Psychology helps us understand people and ourselves, while astrology shows the timing and ways to act to make the most of life's chances. Combined, they provide a significant leverage to influence the world around us and the people we interact with. Wishing you all the best. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.